Welcome to Pick Central. It's your boy Big Ev. We're here with Hubs. I'm sad. The Giants make me sad. I'm just in a weird space. We got Meek, we got Dukes in the back, we got Steve in the back. We'll obviously break down the whole slate. Big football Friday, NFL, big college slate, probably the best overall college slate of the year. But we'll start off with last night's game. Giants lose 20-15. They cover for the gamblers. Brandon Aubrey misses a kick to save the Giants plus 5.5. That should have been an easy win of the whole game. Gross loss for the Giants. Weird, just a very weird game. A lot of weird calls. The Bellinger face mask call was a weird call. Picking up the flag on the Rico Dowdle touchdown was weird. I don't know. One of those games like they moved the ball up and down the field. They couldn't score touchdowns. Jones, I thought, played a very solid game. I'm sure Meek will have words about that in a minute.
He played solid. Not good, not great, solid.
There you go. He had to. I even thought he was going to give me an inch. And it was like, no,
just so you know,
can't say good, just solid.
We already got into a huge screaming match about this.
I mean, yeah, me and him, the last 30 minutes of the stream was me and Meek just screaming at each other.
Steve just had to tell me that the show was starting because I was like, Meek, you're being so dumb about this.
No, because I was just saying where he has no ability to be objective. Like, you can say Dalen Jones is not the future of this football team. Yeah. He is not the answer, but you can say he played a good football game last night.
He was 2 of 14 on deep balls.
Both of those statements can be true. He cannot be the future, and also played a good game last night. And really played
a good box score.
And really,
dude, I think anybody with the fucking eye.
No. I would say he played better with your eyes than the box.
He did not play better with the eye test.
It did though, because the pick he threw was the Hail Mary. So that actually his box score was actually worse than the eye test.
Correct.
Okay.
The box score doesn't show that one completion you had Neighbors in the first quarter. If he leads them properly, it's probably a touchdown as opposed to only
the box score also doesn't show that if there wasn't a penalty, there was a dime to the 1 yard line that probably ends up in a touchdown.
The box score also doesn't show there was 6 drops. Like
the
good balls.
Slayton's drop was so bad.
If you want to go off the Neighbors on the final drive, he legitimately.
The ball that Neighbors got concussed on. That's an insane throw he makes. Rolling to his left, puts it literally on a dartboard, literally on the bullseye.
You're totally right. Where it's he's not the future, but everything he's doing. And again, I'm not a Giants fan, but the last 3 games, it's showing that he could go as what is it? What's the word for it? What Brissett's doing right now, a transition
journeyman.
Transition quarterback.
To me, I think what we've seen the last 3 games. I guess we'll say this season. He obviously wasn't great in the Vikings game, but the Vikings look good. He's with the offensive line has played really well this year. This is the best offensive line the Giants have had in a while.
Yeah, I agree.
In a while,
that's the one thing
he has good protection, and he has a legit number 1 receiver.
I wouldn't even say it's good protection. I'd say it's great protection. He's literally not getting touched.
No, they're playing very well. Andrew Thomas is obviously great. Runyon had a rough first game, but has played well. John Michael Schmitz has played really well. He's had not a great rookie year, kind of shaky, but he stepped up. He's been good this year.
Wide receiver wise, Malik Neighbors looks like
Neighbors is an all world. He looks incredible.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Meek also is right. Because you're gonna point it out. He's he's 2 of 14 on deep balls. He's also sucked all year on deep balls. This isn't just a 1 game thing. He's just not good at it.
No. He's not a great deep ball thrower. No, and that's a totally fair critique. And I would also critique that there was quite a few times that he threw it. That he didn't throw it to the sticks on 3rd down, which is a fair critique. My point is more just you can say all these things and still be he played a good football game, and I know you're going to keep harping on he doesn't Dable doesn't trust him.
He doesn't have it.
We didn't go for it on 4th and goal from the 3. I mean, we ran the ball, I think, 18 times. We threw it 40. I'd say trust him a little. I'd say trust him a little
bit. Meek saying that he doesn't trust him to go for it on 4th down or whatever. When you're moving the ball up and down the field at will, you're betting as a coach and the way that your defense is playing and everything that you're gonna come back down the field. And second off, when you say he's 2 of 14 on deep balls, that's why Dable doesn't trust him. Then what was he with your short yardage situations? When it's a throw in between 10 yards, when it's
3-yard line.
So he's a good short yardage thrower. Is what you're saying. So why does your deep ball stat matter?
No.
I'm asking you a question. Answer.
It's a 5-point game.
Answer.
And you have 4th and goal
Answer my
at the
question.
3-yard line. Why are you kicking a field goal?
Push down, baby girl.
Hold on. I need to say this quick because I'm actually annoyed myself. I didn't say this last night. How hypocritical Meek is. Literally before the play, we were I think they had the ball and maybe it was 3rd and goal for maybe the 8 or 9, something like that. And I remember me and Meek were literally discussing how far do they need to get to go for fourth down? And my thing was I was like the 3rd and I think they should go for it. Meek even on the 3 was like I don't know. And then now he wants to be like
do not spin this
no, that's what you did. That's exactly what you said. That's exactly what you said. My threshold I said the 3 and then we should go for it 4 kick it. We got to exactly the 3.
I would go for it. I said I don't think they do.
I don't know if that's exactly how it went.
Coward. I think
that was the one he should have went for that. Dable should have went for that. I was really surprised that he didn't.
I mean, Dable's first year, that was his thing. Like, day balls of steel. He'll always go for it on 4th down. Now it's like 4th and goal at the 3-yard line. What are we doing?
It was a weird call because I think it was just like the defense had, other than really the big play to CD. That Banks got burnt. The defense played well. I would have liked a little more pass rush, but they even when they didn't get home, like Thibodeau, he had a big sack. That was a huge play.
Yeah.
He forced 2 big holding calls. That helped.
The pass rushing chart. Burns had like a bad game. I think he had one pressure.
But yeah, Burns has not. He played good last week against the Browns. I need a little more out of him. He's been kind of like underwhelming to me.
I think that was one of the weirder games. As someone that's not a Giants fan, the 2 things that I think stood out to me was Dable coaching like a coward, which I do understand to some degree. If you're going to coach like a coward all game for like 1 quarter, coach like a coward for all 4. Like if you're just going to kick field goals and that's the way you're going to call the game, do it consistently. So at least he was consistent. Still thought that was, and then obviously the drops, like the 2 Slayton drops.
Had bad ones.
Bad. Slayton one was so bad.
The Giants have a personnel. Like I don't know why Darius Slayton's out there over Jalen Hyatt. Like. You can't tell me that Hyatt can't be better than what's.
Yeah, I don't get why they don't give Hyatt a run.
Yeah, I think he should get more because even last year, when he got opportunities, he played well. Like I remember,
at the end of the year, they were just throwing bombs to him, and he was catching.
Even if you remember, I think we'd started 0-2, or maybe it was the second or third game, something like that. We were getting blown out by the Cardinals early. We have the crazy comeback second half. We win the game. It was sparked by like Jalen Hyatt deep balls. Right. Like we came and said, "Fuck it! Like we're down. Let's take some shots, chug it deep." And Hyatt's like has beaten his guys in those routes. I just don't understand. I agree. I don't understand why they're not using him more. I think this is a game where if I take even my Giants head off, I look at this and I'm like, I think these are 2 mid-ass teams.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. These are 2.
You look at Dallas.
Dallas. I know the Giants aren't great. Dallas is not great.
In fact, yeah,
they're okay. Dallas is probably a little better than us, but not.
And then you look at Dallas' upcoming schedule, which we talked about yesterday. I mean, it is a gauntlet. They are not going to survive that gauntlet.
Yeah, for both teams, it was kind of a gotta-have-it game to kind of keep your season going.
Dak did what he had to do. Like, Dak wasn't bad by any means.
Yeah, but he did like nothing in the second half.
He was just like, whatever.
Giants defense in the second half played really well.
Yeah.
Really, really well. So, it's a very weird feeling as a Giants fan. I just don't know how to, like... The team is significantly improved, in my opinion, but they're still just kind of like
they're
mid.
Still stuck in the middle of the road.
I actually think the Giants could do something.
I just feel like we're gonna end up like 7-10, like something like that.
That's in the hunt.
But that's not like where that's not where you want to be. That's not where you want to be.
No, that's guys. Ev, you're looking at it wrong. That's like 7-9 going into the last week, and like that's putting you in like a. You win this, they lose one, you're in the playoffs.
But it's a team that has no real shot of like making a run or like if they were a team that I thought had a shot to make a run, I'd be in. I just don't think that this team has that.
The other thing that just really always drives me crazy is I saw the stats since 2017, the Giants are 4-25 versus the Cowboys and the Eagles. You're basically signing up for 4 losses to start the year in your division.
Yeah, Clemmer's used to that with the AFC East.
And look, Dak Prescott's beaten us 13 straight times. Like. Tom Brady did that to the Jets. Dak Prescott's not Tom Brady.
Right, that shouldn't happen.
That shouldn't happen.
You should be able to get Dak here and there.
You guys really were so bad for so long.
Our 4 wins in that stretch versus the Cowboys and Eagles since 2017. One of them's versus Andy Dalton. One of them's the Week 18 game last year that meant absolutely nothing. One of them was versus Carson Wentz. There's one actual win versus Jalen Hurts that actually mattered in that whole stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can we say something? As a Giants bettor last night, successful thank you to Aubrey's miss. That was unbelievable. It was like divine intervention. New York not being able to overturn that face mask was unbelievable. The fact that they overturned the Cowboys touchdown. They allow the Cowboys. They picked up the flag, right?
Which was a clear hold. I couldn't believe they picked it up.
But the face mask. How do you call it on the wrong team? And New York does nothing. It was literally the point of New York is, hey, when we fuck something up that's so obvious to the point where we call the penalty on the other team that destroys their drive instead of giving them 1st and 10 on the 17. How do you not just buzz and be like, "Yo, fix that, Clay Martin"?
It was
crazy.
It was crazy. It was those two. It felt like they were back to back. Back drives. It was just. It just swung the whole game. The Giants
fire everyone in New York if they're missing that. That's literally the job of New York in this whole thing is to fix that fucking call.
You know, they got shafted. I mean, it felt like it was like a 30-yard swing from the. I mean, it's a 15 that should have been
the drive killer, man.
It was so bad that they announced it for on the offense. And then when they showed the replay, I was like, "Oh, like he must have just pointed the wrong way by accident. Like no big deal." And then it's actually a penalty against the Giants. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, "How?" So bad, man. He literally got his face mask ripped off. That was, I mean,
stunning.
It was crazy, but yeah, I mean, just I don't know, just a weird feeling because
Michaels was killing the refs all night.
Yeah.
Somebody had a very funny tweet.
I saw he was like, Al Michaels. I want to beat the refs with a hammer.
Singletary went to
Kirk Herbstreit. Yeah, Singletary went to FAU. I actually liked them in the booth together.
It was the most I've liked Michaels in a little bit. Usually he's a corpse out there.
I also liked somebody was like, we need Fowler and Herbstreit to call an NFL game, and they just name every player, and they're just like, he went to, just doing like the whole like, where's he from, and then just be like, oh, where he went to college, just like back and forth.
Yeah, that was just a Giants fan hard pill to swallow.
It's just
I would have if they won, I would have been all the way back in. I would have been dangerously back in.
Can I tell a Daniel Jones take I have now? Somehow, some way, the Giants will move on from him. And now he'll probably be like a little bit of a value play for somebody to go after.
100%.
Like the bridge QB?
Yes, 100%.
The bridge QB, that's the word I was. But like with Darnold with KOC, like if he goes into a situation like that, even like if, I don't know, team off like Dolphins, I know that's like not realistic at all. But something like that, we goes like an offensive-minded coach goes in for like cheap money.
Bro,
it's like it's crazy to say it, but like he's not. I don't even think he's like fixable. I think he's
the situation he's in now isn't a bad one. I
don't think he's been bad.
He has a legitimate wide receiver one, Malik Neighbors, an offensive line that.
But I don't think he's been bad. I think week 1 he was really bad.
Like,
also,
hasn't been bad.
Now
he's been average.
Now that
a little better than average.
Now that the weeks have gone by, and listen, I'm not saying like week 1's like acceptable or anything, and that you should want to see that, but like Brian Flores and that Vikings defense has made a lot of good QBs look really bad.
I mean, the Texans couldn't do shit last week.
Yeah.
So I mean, they definitely made much
not
better
like it's
quarterbacks.
Acceptable, but like it's not like he's the only one, and like. I don't know.
He's made much better quarterbacks look bad.
Yeah,
there's legitimate talent around him. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but I think
he's like it's with a good offensive line. He has, like you said, he has his solid receiver. He has one really good receiver, and like I think some pieces there.
I think Wendell's pretty good.
I like Wendell.
I do
like Wendell,
but like it's crazy.
The two drops. You got the one I actually thought he got held to. Yes. They were holding his arm, and then it was tough to adjust.
The free play.
He gets open all the time, but like how easily he gets taken down when there's like an arm on him is crazy.
The shoestrings. He got shoestring tackled quite a bit last night. He's good with the ball in his hands, but you'd like to see him break. But at the same time, he did also make a couple crazy plays where he broke tackles and picked up first downs that he probably shouldn't have picked up.
I just thought Shannon Sharp probably had like the best quote I saw this morning. Is like Daniel Jones, he played good, but there were 3 throws where if another quarterback makes them, they win the game.
I need to see how Meek responds. This is also the same guy that said that Joe Burrow didn't play well enough to win the other day.
And Daniel Jones didn't play well enough to win.
I think
he played good.
I think Daniel Jones is like really the type of quarterback.
I would say he played well enough to win.
Yeah. No, you can't score a touchdown and say he played well enough to win.
I think some of the play calls were whack, and like just like you said before the show started, the running plays were so fucking predictable. At one
Horrible.
Point.
So if you're saying a game where we did not score a touchdown is
on what? If the play calls are predictable, who's it on?
What about the drops? Meek, respond to the drops. I'm holding you accountable. Like answer
I
them,
thought
Slayton
killed. I said Slayton killed them.
So then, would you say that if those catches are made, he's making good enough throws to win, you score touchdowns? That's like you. He can.
You also don't know.
He can only control what he can control. If he puts the ball in the money and they just drop it, you can't just sit there and be like, oh, like he didn't play well enough to win. If he's putting the balls on target.
I gave you 2 plays he can control. There was the completion of Neighbors to start the game, where if he leads them a bit more, it's probably a touchdown as opposed to a 3rd-yard completion.
That's false.
I could show you the actual.
That's such a.
You show me. I've seen like Meek. I was watching the game. I was sitting right next to you.
And then the free play to Slayton, where Slayton has the guy burned completely, and he underthrows it.
Yeah,
he
it was
underthrew,
bad.
no,
That was
he
bad.
underthrew him on the deep ball.
And
bad.
still
Deep ball, he
catchable.
underthrew him.
That was
No,
bad.
it was not. It was picked off. What do you mean it was catchable?
No, not that one. I thought you were talking about the one
That was the
dropped.
Tracy
Yeah,
one.
Yeah.
The Tracy one, he threw a good ball, but it was going to come back as a penalty.
It's also brutal when you just get nothing out of your running game, and everyone just knows the only way you're moving the ball is throwing.
Like I
it.
said, the runs were predictable. That's on
24
David.
carries
That's
for
what it comes back
26
to.
yards. is
How can you say
brutal.
Dable didn't trust him when you throw the ball
40
fucking
times, but they didn't trust him. That's where with Meek I get lost with him. Where like he just can't like objectively.
Dable like gave him the game.
He just goes into it being
hold
like
on,
Jones stinks. That's all I can.
Dude, did you pull it up?
What the neighbors?
Yeah.
I mean, I saw it. But you also got to. It's a play where he cooks him so bad, you just like throw him the ball right away. Like if he leads, I don't think if he like puts. That's a ball like you don't put like loft in that ball. You don't put loft in that ball like with a chance where the safety's coming. The safety's coming over to close out. Who is the one who made the tackle? If you loft that ball and lead him, that might end up being an incompletion. Like if a guy beats a guy that badly where he just jukes him out of his shoes, you just put it on him right there.
I don't also agree with screenshots because it's not in real time.
100%.
Screenshots are brutal. You
Yeah.
have no idea.
It says not. Yeah, it doesn't really show.
This is legitimately just for Twitter. And
That's Slayton. Like, he has Diggs beat there.
Yeah, but as he underthrew him, sure.
Like that's
He
the one
underthrew
that
ball.
could be a touchdown. That could be a big play. That's momentum. And that's the neighbors. There's no safety up for neighbors there.
There's someone coming out of the
And he
shot.
probably beats him.
Oh, he probably beats him.
I mean, Malik Neighbors running straight has more speed than a guy going sideways.
he couldn't. He got pushed out of
These are
bounds.
like elite athletes all over the field. It's
Yeah,
not
I would say,
it's not
yeah, he
just
had-
because Malik Neighbors is a wide receiver one does not make
The
him the best
safety
athlete
shots
in
are
the field.
But I'm saying when you cook a corner like that, where you put him on his ass, like right there, you just put the ball on him. Like you don't try to like loft one over top. You just give it to him. That's
We disagree. I mean, it's year 6, and I just will not stand for hearing it's everyone's fault but his.
no one is saying that. See, that's where your ears are like. It's
No,
like your
you-
ears are clogged.
It could be. You could blame him
What
for.
have the last
you
20
could blame.
minutes been?
You could blame him for like years 1 through.
Hold on, me,
What have the last 20 minutes been if we're not saying that?
The last
You
20
could
minutes
blame, you
where
could
I
blame
said
him for the six years, but you can't blame him for like a game. Like
the
that's totally two
the
different
last
things.
20 minutes speak where I said he threw it short of the 6 too much. Where I said where he didn't throw good deep balls. Like did you miss those or are you just
Like no one is saying he played a perfect
hearing's
game.
lost? Like, I just
You
don't know.
say he played well enough to win.
He did.
He did
That's,
not.
that's different from playing a
That-
perfect
He had 15 points, but he did not play well
That's
enough to
different
win.
from saying that's different from saying he played a perfect game. Much different, Meek. I know your brain is not quite there to fathom that and process it, but
I want to get into other games. I want to sit on this. I'll just say there'll be a lot of quarterback performances on Sunday that are better than this one that we ripped a quarterback for while you're ignoring this one.
I don't think
That's
so.
all.
I don't think
And
that's the case.
I'll remember that and I'll bring it back.
No,
Well, he played
please.
better than Daniel Jones on Thursday. He
Daniel
defended
Jones.
us.
If Daniel Jones had 2 touchdown passes and they scored 14 points, would you say that he had a better game than he did last night?
If he scores 2 touchdowns instead of 5 field goals.
See, but he changes the question. He can't when he's wrong, so he will never answer it directly.
What are we,
I don't- I- 'cause
what are we
I-
trading the touchdowns for instead on the possession scale? Like they had
He
what?
scored more points though. He had more successful drives.
They didn't punt the ball. I don't think did they even punt the ball all night?
No, the Giants
No.
didn't punt.
That's what I mean. Like, where are we
But I'm
trading
saying-
the touchdowns for?
They moved the ball up and down
Yeah,
the
if
field.
you had 7,
He moved the ball because that would mean that he moved the ball better yesterday than he did with 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, if you get 2 touchdowns and 3 field goals, that's more points than 5 field goals.
Dable should have trusted him on the fourth and goal.
That 4th and goal, yes.
They should have went for it. I don't even think it's a trust him thing. They just should. They should have went for it. Period.
I think so many other coaches trust to go for it in that spot. Like I don't think there's a
probably.
single team in the league that does not go for it in that spot.
I think you're wrong on that, but I agree. I keep saying they should have went for it. You can say 31 other coaches don't kick there. I think you probably
Outside
could
of I
be
guess
wrong.
be-
the Panthers, I can't think of a single team that does not go for it.
There's
there.
a very funny world where like you guys get your franchise QB next year. You guys make an NFC Championship game, and somehow it's like fucking like Daniel Jones on the opposite sideline, just like ripping Meek's heart out.
If he has a good career after this, I will be legitimately mad. Because I feel like I've wasted 6 years just going through the same exact talking points that I've been saying for 6 years.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't want him from the beginning. I hated the draft pick from the beginning.
A lot of
John
people
Gruden
did.
loves him. John Gruden's going to come to the NFL and get him.
Yeah, we'll move on though.
Yes.
We had so much other football to talk about. We'll do some college first, and then we'll end with NFL.
Okay, so you said this is the best slate of the year. You said that leading into
Right, I would say up to this point.
I don't know. I think last week's was bad. I think it's just because you're holding on to that one. I mean, Georgia Bama is going to be epic.
Last week's was like, it was not bad. I mean,
I guess to this point, I don't know. I looked at this
like last week you had USC, Michigan. You had, and you had what else? We had Tennessee,
Oklahoma.
Like I think this is deeper because you have the best game of the year so far.
I think there's a big drop off between the Bama, Georgia, and the next best game.
But I think you get because you get Notre Dame, Louisville, which is good.
That just doesn't move the needle for me.
But that's a legit like top. Those are. I think Notre Dame is at least a top 25 team. I think Louisville's kind of fraudulent, but we're gonna find out. Oklahoma State, Kansas State, two teams that actually I'm not crazy about, but I think it should be an exciting game. To me, kind of like a loser leaves town game for the Big 12 in the sense of like competing for the Big 12 title this season. Mm-hmm. And then you have Penn State, Illinois, which is a very like
19-point spread though.
It's a show.
If Illinois scores in that game.
Luke Altmaier's been good this year.
That spread is enormous.
It's a scary spread. It's one of the I'm gonna be on Illinois like probably like I'll say like 95% at this point. If they just lost like 31-3, would I be absolutely stunned? No. But also if this was like a 3 to 7 point game, would I be shocked? Absolutely not.
I think you think that Arizona Utah game might get good at 10-15, the late game.
It could. The spreads came down a lot. I just think this Arizona team is just kind of bad.
It is, but
I think they have a good quarterback and a good receiver, and outside of that, the team kind of stinks. I think the defense really stinks. I'm just a Utah guy. I'm high on Utah. I don't know what's gonna happen with Cam Rising in this game.
What's his health situation?
I don't even know. It's like he hurt his hand the last game. He didn't, or 2 games ago. He didn't play last week.
He's so good when he's healthy.
They still won, and even they won at Oklahoma State. Even that game, when you look at this, like it was 22-19 final. It was 22-3 with like in the fourth quarter. Like that game, they kind of dominated them, pillar to post. But I was going to go through some of the lines. I'll talk about some of the games. I locked in quite a bit.
I like the Rutgers game tonight.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too. I'm on Rutgers in the over there. I just took Rutgers money line. Didn't want to play because I think it could be a very close game, a tough game. 2, I think, pretty good defenses. And Washington's kind of interesting where they lose the game to Wazoo, and I feel like everyone kind of wrote them off. And they've actually been pretty good. I mean, they smashed Northwestern. They had a good. Who did they just beat last week? They had a good win too, a solid win at least. Who was again? Refresh me. I used to just beat Eastern Washington and Washington before that, but they did look good in the Northwestern game. I like Rutgers in the over. I think this is also just a tough spot. It's our first taste of the West Coast Big Ten team going full like West Coast, full East Coast. Basically, it's about as far as the trip as you can make.
Friday night Rutgers game too. That stadium is going to be jumping.
For sure, and a team that's good. They're legit. They're 3-0.
Yeah, Monongai's a great running back.
This is a game that Rutgers if Rutgers wins this game, they're going to have like actually important games down the line if they can get this done. I kind of think they are.
Yeah.
Also, Miami tonight, it got to 17, and I took Miami. This is a game where like there was part of me that was like, do I want to go Virginia Tech? But Miami's such a buzzsaw right now. I just don't even want to get in front of them. I just want to keep
play physical football.
I just want to ride the wave, and their offense is explosive.
It's a fun team to watch. Virginia Tech is crazy to me. Like so many people were taking them as a dark horse to win the ACC.
Yeah.
So many people, and they just are not it.
I thought they'd be a lot better. I mean, obviously they lose to Vandy week 1, and it's like they're cooked.
Yeah, Jerome just
they lose to Rutgers last week.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I'm on Miami. I already locked it in. I think I put it in the betting.
Miami and Rutgers. Okay.
And I took their first half team total over well, just because they've been jumping on people. And Virginia Tech has been coming out of the gate really slow. Against Rutgers, they were just getting dominated the first half.
You see that one viral clip going around with
the same way.
Cam Ward, they've never seen like a calmer quarterback. Like he there's so much pressure around him, and he's just like willy-nilly back there. He's just like, it's a cool calm and a cool like just slowness to him, and then he just explodes, and he just figures that he's a fun quarterback, man.
I think he's
every penny they paid him.
I think he's going to win the Heisman. I just think
the schedule certainly allows that to happen, right? Like they're going to be, unless something terrible happens, like they should really pretty much run the table here.
And they just, to me, even they haven't played anyone great yet. The only like teams with a pulse.
They probably won't.
They played Florida and smoked them obviously week 1. They played USF last week, who I actually think is like a solid G5 team. I mean, they were down 1 point to Bama in like the middle of the fourth quarter. They ended up losing 42-16, but it was like kind of crazy, like 3 touchdowns the last like 3 minutes that were kind of just like nonsense. Like
honestly,
USF was legitimately like in that game with Bama till The last, like 6-7 minutes.
Their next game, next week they go to Cal. That's an interesting spot.
Tricky game.
Cal, I watched them. They're not terrible.
No, they're not.
That team can play. So that's it. And then at Louisville. So I feel like if you get through those two, then they're going to be in a good spot.
Yeah, Jay Nott's a good back. The quarterback's actually not horrible. Miami, I just think they looked the part. Like, they've just been what they go into USF and just smashing them like wire to wire, like 50 to.
It's good for football, man. When Tennessee is good, when Miami is good, like Texas is great. Like these are good. College football needs these teams, and especially in expanded playoffs when you get maybe all of them in the playoff. Should get them all.
Yeah, I think
fun.
I think we're set up for. I really think Miami's going to run the table in the regular season.
Yeah,
I think we're set up for a potentially awesome like ACC title game of them versus Clemson.
Yeah.
If Clemson keeps rolling, and they look really good.
Yeah, they had a big bounce back last week.
I'll say a few of the ones. I'll just go through kind of just like based on times for the slates. I bet Ole Miss minus 15.5. I think people are kind of hanging their hat on the Kentucky that they kept Georgia close.
Sure.
I don't think they're a good team.
Good spot for Ole Miss too. If they blow out Kentucky, then people are like, "Well, wow, they destroyed Kentucky while Georgia struggled." Like that's good for. I think Ole Miss. Yeah, I like that.
And they've just been blowing teams out. Lane is a cover coach. He loves to cover spreads. I just think the speed. They have insane receivers. Jackson Dart's really good. They just haven't played literally anybody yet. But I think they smashed.
It's the first little test there.
Yeah, I think they
start. That's a little trickier there, but okay.
And I think Brock Vandagriff, Kentucky's quarterback, I think stinks. Okay. Next, this is a plug your nose one. I took Minnesota plus 10 against Michigan. Okay. I think this is a game where Minnesota is not a good team, but I think they're at least physical. And I think the type of team that Michigan is, like they just can't go out there. I think if they can't just point blank out physical you, what are they gonna do?
Yeah,
I think they still have the physical advantage, but I don't think it's this crazy advantage over a team like Minnesota. So I could see this being like kind of a rock fight of a game.
Michigan's such an interesting team now because you know exactly what they're gonna do. They were just gonna run the ball down your throat and play physical football in the trenches. I guess that was kind of obvious last week too. Once you make the switch to orgy, though, like that's what's going to happen. So I guess it's not. I was starting to think like, oh, Minnesota. Now you know what they're going to do, but you knew what they were going to do last week too. Like it's no surprise to USC they were going to get the ball run down their throat. So, but that number screams like people are going to take Michigan after the big win against USC, and maybe Minnesota keeps it tighter. It's a 10.5 as a backdoor number too. So,
I looked in. I have 10 flat. I wish I got the hook.
Okay, I do see 10.5 at the moment, but yeah, no, I agree with you there. Sure.
I took Oklahoma State plus 5. I really just think this is a coin flip game. I think Kansas State. They're both probably pretty overrated coming into the year.
I don't like Avery Johnson. I think you said that yesterday. I don't like that quarterback.
Yeah, I just think he's very overrated. He's kind of been a big hype job. Yeah, I like Oklahoma State. I also took the over because I think we're going to just kind of chaos here. I don't think either defense is.
I like that. I like the over there. That's that feels like a game where I tune in the fourth quarter and there's just a lot of fucking.
It actually went up a little bit. It opened like 55. It's up to 57.
All right, this board is starting to speak to me a little bit. I hear what you're saying.
I took the over.
Only on noon.
This board is singing to me.
Yeah,
I know.
Like some tunes.
Yeah. By the way, BYU Baylor. I think any side I pick in that I lose.
This is a game. I've been like a BYU guy the last few weeks. I bet on them. I think I bet on them like almost every game. Or I bet on them against SMU. They won outright as like 11, 12-point dogs. I was on them last week big. They were like my pick of the week.
They were my Saturday and the night in Vegas bet, and it was absolute euphoria.
Now this is such a worrisome spot. This is a spot where like in just my usual gambling philosophy, I would always take Baylor in this spot. I still took BYU plus 3.5.
Yeah, that's what
I trust BYU's defense. I'm worried that this is just a classic college football letdown spot. You're not in Provo anymore. You're going to Waco.
Baylor ripped my heart.
I just don't think Baylor's good. Like I just don't think this is a good football team.
No.
We talked about with Brad yesterday. Aranda's just clinging on to this Big 12.
Why are they favored?
He won 3-4 years ago.
Why are they favored?
That's the question. I don't know, and I think that's why I'm very worried about it.
I think if I take a side, it's Baylor. And I don't watch the game. I literally don't watch 1 second. I don't want to watch a second of it. It's going to be ugly. I might be down 21-0 after the first quarter.
The thing I trust with BYU is that I'm gonna put trust into at least is that defense travels, and I think their defense is legit. So I'm gonna put some faith in that and just hope they can at least cover 3.
Do you guys know about the BYU quarterback?
BYU.
Oh yeah.
Quarterback
Retzloff. One of the craziest things.
Retzloff.
Yeah, that is nuts.
I think it's so sick.
Just they got a Jewish quarterback.
Yeah, like the kids on campus must be so confused. It's like that Larry David, like, do we want?
I love it.
I didn't know it was allowed.
Yeah, I'm sure you get allowed to.
I do get because BYU has a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Like and I know college basketball was that they can clean up with some recruits just based off of I forget who the guy is. Maybe the guy that came up with NASDAQ went to BYU. So they have
that must be fun to figure. You just come up with NASDAQ.
I don't get it. Like you know how that retreat that they have to do.
Yeah.
Does every
2
athlete
years.
have to do that?
It's the mission trip.
Like with athletes, it's so you can just do whatever you want.
Right. I definitely know that there's some people that don't, but I don't know if it's an opt-in,
but that's
opt-out
almost
thing.
why I like betting on BYU because they'll have a bunch of 24-year-old
Dude,
juniors. And shit.
That was the best part about their college basketball
They're
team.
just old. They're all old. They're grown men.
Yeah.
They have the number one recruiter.
They're
number two
all their basketball players have
Yes.
lost their hair because they're so old.
There's a number two. The number two recruiter, some shit, is in between Kentucky and BYU,
That's
and he's
crazy.
leaning towards BYU. And I was like, that's cool, but fuck. My whole betting strategy on BYU is you'll get a very experienced team that's not boys, men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly have kids.
Yeah.
Father.
But everyone's married.
Yeah.
Everyone's married because they all want to have sex.
Yeah, they want to fuck.
Yeah. Maryland, Indiana, fun game.
They don't want to get suspended.
Yeah, they don't want to be Brandon Davies.
Yeah.
They saw what happened that one year to the
Brandon
BYU basketball team. They're like, everyone get fucking married freshman year.
Yeah, yo, that's literally a team rule. It's in the code.
Yeah.
You just have to get married right now.
Maryland, Indiana.
Fun game.
I took Indiana. I think Indiana's legit.
Okay.
Signetti's a really, really good coach. He brought over a lot of those JMU guys.
I haven't watched them this year yet.
Dude, they're legit good. I think they're a team that can actually they're going to be a team that makes noise in the Big Ten that gives I think if they play Michigan,
I saw Tate. Tate hates them. Tate's got a war against them, so I want them to be undefeated until. Do they play Ohio State? I assume they do.
Yeah, I believe so. They it's a shame because I think they played in the
Second to last game of the year.
I think who do they play Michigan?
No.
Who do they play that's good in the Big Ten? Anyway.
So at Maryland, at Northwestern, nothing. Home to Nebraska, sure.
Okay, solid game though.
Home to Washington, at Michigan State. Oh, they do play Michigan. That blended with.
That's what I thought,
Right
'cause I knew
before
it was-
Ohio State, they play Michigan.
Because that's what I think that's going to be
Host Michigan.
That's a game I could totally see them beating Michigan.
And they're hosting the game,
Michigan.
too, so.
That's what I'm saying. Michigan look ahead spot.
Yeah.
They got to go to
Yes,
Bloomington, who on paper obviously playing Indiana doesn't sound like some big match.
Yeah.
I think Signetti's got them
Who's their quarterback? They have a good quarterback.
Who? Indiana?
Indiana.
Curtis Rourke from Ohio.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah, he's good. Solid.
Obviously,
unbelievable.
related to the Rourke brothers.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Here's
Nathan?
He's had an incredible start of the season.
Oh?
Wait.
Yeah, he is. Curtis Rourke.
Who's Nathan Rourke? Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's Curtis Rourke. He went to Ohio.
Love the Rourke brothers.
yes.
I know. It's Liam Blutman, huge Rourke.
Yeah.
Rourke brother
You want
guy.
to hear his numbers this year? 71 for 94, 1,013 yards, 8 touchdowns, no pick.
Is that good?
It's not bad.
I think
Not
that's
bad.
pretty good.
Not bad.
Signetti too.
That's completing almost 70, high 70 percentage.
Listen, Ohio, right? They transferred from Ohio.
Ohio.
Do you know-
I love those
Do you know
guys. They just air it out.
Signetti coaching tree too. He's he's a Saban guy. He's just
Yeah.
a fucking weirdo.
He's a phenomenal coach.
This would
all right,
be-
you sold me. I'm
This
in
is either a
Indiana.
one and done with him at Indiana, in my opinion, or he's going to be here for the next 10 years and set Indiana
Okay.
up.
Yeah, I bet Indiana -7 already.
Okay.
The ones that I actually took in, I'm trying to look for. I took South Florida as well, +5 at Tulane. I just think the South
winner for me last.
I just think the South Florida team is legitimately a good team. They've played a really tough schedule. They had to play fucking Bama and Miami already. What a gauntlet.
Tulane's got a decent quarterback, Mensa. I only know this because one of my good friends is a diehard Tulane fan. He went there, so I know
Yeah,
everything.
he had a very good game against
Kai
Kansas
Hughes.
State. South Byron Brown's a good quarterback. I know he got nicked up at the end of Miami game. I think he's okay though. So I did take South Florida there. Wisconsin USC. I bet nothing yet, but definitely a game worth talking about. Kind of a weird game. USC obviously coming off the loss. If I was gonna bet it, I would probably lay it with USC. I think Wisconsin.
Everything about that spread.
I think Wisconsin is just
teams,
bad.
avoiding-
I don't know if I'm gonna bet it, but Wisconsin. I just really think it's a bad football.
I'm avoiding that game.
I was already not a Tyler Van Dyke guy. He's out for the
No,
year.
yep.
They just have no weapons. I just don't. My problem with them is they don't have that same level of physicality they usually have.
Right.
And that's what kind of and them having to go to the West Coast for this game. If I had to bet, I would bet USC. I'm probably not going to.
That's a
maybe
stay
even
away
the over because I just think their defense is very good. You saw Bama just.
It's tough to take an over with a Wisconsin.
Bama just scored as much. I just think this is a game where I think that USC could go get 40 by themselves.
Okay.
And if Wisconsin can go get you 14,
Yep.
I think can get over. But I might just play nothing there. I haven't played anything yet.
All right, your Louisville Notre Dame game. You were talking this up.
Yeah, I bet Notre Dame -6.5.
Okay.
I'm not this crazy believer in Notre Dame at all, but I think Louisville is just
Louisville's quarterback. That's the
fraudulent.
Texas Tech guy.
Yeah, he's Oregon, Texas Tech, Tyler
Yeah.
Shuck. You say Shuck, but it's like SHOU.
That bothers me big time.
Yeah, I don't know. He was a guy that he had a lot of hype when he went to Texas Tech initially and kind of didn't work out. He has played well this year, so I'll give him credit. But I think this is a Notre Dame like defensive squash spot.
Okay.
Where I think they win I'll say they win 21-7. I think it goes something like that.
Sure.
A sneaky game. Ton of injuries for Oklahoma. I like Auburn in this game.
I would lean Auburn.
I got a good line too. I got +2.5. They're like a favorite.
I
now.
see -1.
Yeah, they're a favorite. Oklahoma has.
I don't like their quarterback.
Like all their
I don't like Thorne.
both their quarterbacks stink.
Yeah,
Hank
well-
Brown is like a 5-star guy. He hasn't played well either.
I did like what I saw out of Hawkins. Now, to be fair, Hawkins coming to that game, you're not really game planning for Hawkins, right? So, like, you get a week for Auburn to prepare for that. Might be able to shut him down more of a running aspect.
Yeah, and also it's funny.
Auburn.
It's kind of weird to say
Game
now
to
because
play, tough environment.
I guess technically it's like a pick'em / like they're kind of a favorite, but Hugh Freeze historically is like the worst favorite of all time.
Okay.
But a really good underdog.
Okay.
It's kind of like a.
So what is it? Well, you got him as a dog.
I got him as a dog, so that's how I'm liking to think. Oklahoma also
like, tweet at him like,
Oklahoma-
I got you as an underdog. You're not a favorite.
Yeah, Oklahoma's defense is really good. They're missing like all their receivers too.
Okay.
They have like a true freshman quarterback coming in. Like you said, they're going to game plan for him. It's at home.
Tough.
Yeah,
That's a tough spot for Hawkins to play. Auburn is brutal.
yeah,
Road.
Auburn. And the one thing I'll say about Auburn is they're not as ass as you would like to think. Their defense, I actually think, is like pretty good. It's not bad. Their offense obviously needs to work some shit out, but yeah, I think it's a low scoring game. I like Auburn.
Okay.
Arkansas A&M. This is in Jerry World in Arlington, Texas. I like the over here on the fast track. I haven't played it yet. I might play Arkansas with the points. The line just keeps getting bigger, and that's a little almost concerning me, even though getting more points with Arkansas. It just feels a little like, I don't want to say trappy is the right word, but just a little fishy. But I did bet the over 51.5 already. I might take Arkansas. Arkansas team that really is like not bad. They should have beat Oklahoma State. They get a nice win over Auburn last week on the road.
I have to tell myself 100 times that this game is in Jerry World before I bet it.
Yeah, just remember fast track. That's over. Fast track turf.
Yep.
Louisiana Wake Forest. I took Louisiana +3.5 and the over. These are just two over teams. Wake Forest, awful defense. I also think Louisiana's defense.
Achmeyer, is that Boise State's guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And Wake Forest, super fast paced. Woolidge is a good quarterback for Louisiana. I think you was talking about Tulane last week. I mean, that game was up and down.
Yeah.
Easy over.
I like every Tulane over. They just don't
Yeah.
play defense and they score. So, yeah.
I think this
Louisiana, same kind of deal.
Yeah, I think this is it. I bet the over already in
16.5.
Louisiana.
Okay.
At 3:30 also. I took TCU also. I think Kansas just stinks. I think you're seeing it so much. Their offensive coordinator went to Penn State, and you're seeing already what he's doing with Drew Aller. And their offense just looks horrible. Jalen Daniels doesn't look good at all.
He just throws the ball away so much.
Yeah,
man.
he
has talent, but he just throws the ball away way too much.
Yeah, they're lost.
Good guy to be on the other side of because you're just going to get the ball half the time.
Yeah, I took TCU +2.
Okay.
I think they're better. Sonny Dykes got thrown out last week. That was kind of funny. But
I'm curious what you're going to say about the next game.
Colorado UCF.
Yeah.
Very torn. I don't even think I'm going to bet it.
I am.
I haven't bet. I don't know if I bet a Colorado game this year.
I think UCF is going to win this game by 42 points.
They very well might. I like UCF. I think they're a dark horse in the Big 12.
I think they're going to.
KJ Jefferson gets shit on by SEC fans. He's a solid quarterback.
Yeah, and he's going to
very
torch
solid.
Colorado.
They have insane running backs. RJ Harvey's a stud.
Also, it's a revenge
Who's a
game for me
stud.
because I was on Baylor and I got my heart ripped out. So I'm not going away. I'm going to take it out on Colorado.
Yeah, if I were to bet, I would probably take UCF. I'm not playing.
I can't wait to bet this game. They're gonna curb stomp.
I love Colorado and the over.
The over, I don't mind.
I think
I'd seen some people really liking the UCF like team total over because they go fast pace. I mean they can throw. They really can run the shit out of the ball.
I don't know how much UCF's going to put up, but I'm pretty confident Colorado will at least put up 21.
You'd think.
I think UCF puts
Would
up
think.
48.
If they get to 21, I think the over hits.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, all right. Next game, We tried to go a little faster. We get
we're
too.
we're only at 3.
Love UNLV money line. I already bet it.
So,
we talked. It's Brad's pick of the week.
Brad's pick. My pick of the week. Like UNLV is my pick.
I'll skip over a few. I'll just say the picks that I have. I bet Marshall -3.5. I think they're actually pretty good. They've just played a really tough schedule so far. They had to play Virginia Tech and to play Ohio State. Obviously, tough draw. I like Akron +10.5. I think they're pretty scrappy. I think these MAC games, like a short total, a small total like this in the 40s, and a double-digit spread. That's just like a recipe for like a MAC cover there. Akron +10.5. I took North Carolina +3. I just think Duke is not good. I don't think North Carolina is good.
Duke feels fraudulent.
But yeah, I took North Carolina +3. I took UTSA +3. ECU, I cannot get on the right side of them. I will admit. I bet ECU like twice, and
they just lost their corner.
They should have won both. They should have won both, and they lost both.
They just lost their star corner.
Yeah,
where's ACL number 2 corner?
And their quarterback is just all this guy does is throw picks. He has 9 interceptions this year. So I took
Ohio State. Your boys against Michigan State.
I would lay it. I haven't bet it yet. Some of these big spreads with Ohio State, just as a fan, I'll just like not bet it just so I can like appreciate the game and like try to take it in from less of a better mindset and more just like watch the team for like what they look like. But I would bet Ohio State.
First time playing like a real team.
Yeah, it's our first real game. Childs, I like Childs. He has a lot of like tools, but I think he's going to get baited in a few picks here.
Okay.
He's pretty turnover prone. I think this defense will bring it out of him. I haven't bet it yet, but I think I might lay it with Iowa State. They're just really good. They were like my dark horse Big 12 team. I think I picked them to go to the Big 12 championship game. I think they can be good here. And also Houston, I just think kind of stinks. The big game, I'm taking Georgia. I already bet Georgia. We got a boost on DraftKings, 50% boost.
Love it.
Already put on Georgia money line. I'm the more I'm seeing like everyone's on Bama.
Give me Alabama.
Yep. All the squares will be on Bama.
When you map it out, it's so clearly that people are going to be on Bama. Like
they're just like Bama's a dog. How could it be?
You're getting points.
Georgia
only people like to a pulp. Georgia obviously struggles against Kentucky. You don't know what that offense looks like. Beck, they lost last year to Bama. Give me Georgia.
Revenge spot.
I love Bama.
Revenge spot.
I've talked to Travi far too long.
Yeah, that's
my problem.
That'll do it.
Can't let him incept you.
Again, this is one of those bets I'll be watching. I don't know what side I want. I know who I'll be like slightly rooting for. Give me Bama. That's just a bet that just like put something on, feel something in the balls. But like
I'm hoping that DeBoer gets a little like deer in the headlight.
My reasoning is DeBoer. I think that like that being his like first real step and like Kirby not really ever going against DeBoer. I think DeBoer is just up there. Won't get the recognition yet. I think he's just in that category.
I think Kirby might see DeBoer and be salivating and be like,
DeBoer,
the boogeyman's gone.
He's 7-0 coming off a bye as a coach.
Not against Georgia.
Not insignificant though. Not insignificant.
I want to make this clear. I think DeBoer is like one of the best coaches in the country, like top like 5-10. I really think he's that elite. He's literally won everywhere he's been and has won immediately. And I think he's going to do it here, just not today.
All he has to do is lose by 1.
Yeah, fair.
I like run that out. I like Penn State. I think they obliterate Illinois.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take Illinois. I think I'm going to take the bait. I admit that it's I think I'm going to take the bait. I think Luke Altmaier is actually good. The thing that I like about Illinois is their corners are very good. Like they have legit like NFL, like multiple NFL guys in their secondary. I think Drew Aller has taken a big step this year. A lot of people aren't talking about that. Everyone shit on him last year because he was so bad against Michigan and Ohio State. But I mean, literally the 2 best defenses in the country. He played a freshman quarterback, played bad, like not the craziest thing ever.
Should be a good test for him.
Good test. He's looked really, really good this year. I give him credit for that. Yes, I'm going to take Illinois, but I agree it might be a trap.
Cincy, Texas Tech, very good game. I was on Cincy last week. They gave 0 points. It was very nice to be on them. I'm 0 points.
I love Cincy. I put them in on the College Football Show on the DraftKings parlay and our unnecessary roughness underdog parlay. I put Cincy in both.
Okay.
I think they're very underrated right now. The defense is really good. I'm worried Texas Tech. I think might have found something. They have a really good offense, but defense travels. They lost a heartbreaker to Pitt. Other than that, they were up 10 points with like 4 minutes left and blew it. They'd be undefeated if not. I like Cincy +3.
They lost to Wazoo. Texas Tech. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I was saying since he lost to Pitt.
Oh, since he
lost a heartbreaker.
Tech lost to Wazoo. I only know because I was on Tech in that game and it was very sad.
Yeah, and then the last game that I know I'm going to be betting, probably the last like big game, I guess, or not. But I like Washington State with the points. Boise, I don't think should be a touchdown favorite. I think it's crazy. I also like, if you're going to bet it, I like the over. Boise, I think this is a shootout. Two teams, or especially Boise, like doesn't play defense.
We deserve that game.
Offense is electric though. Gentie's legitimately incredible.
Yeah.
Has legit potential to be a first round draft.
America deserves that late game to be a shootout and classic.
Yep, it's on FS1, and then I'm not betting it. Arizona, Utah. I lean Utah, but not going to bet it. Don't have a great feel. I know you said you kind of like Arizona.
I lean Zona there just to keep it close because they have not played well, and I feel like that number is interesting.
And then Oregon at UCLA. I kind of want no part of that game.
No part of that game.
If I had to bet it, I might even bet UCLA, but I'm not touching it.
Yeah.
I really don't want to bet it. We won on NFL.
That was a good little run through there. There's
Yeah.
a lot of games. Sorry if it went a little long there, but yeah, we'll do some NFL. Good NFL board. Really good NFL board.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the. Instead of watching games on Sunday too, we got. I would say we'll go through them and just give our picks.
Okay.
We got Broncos Jets. Jets are laying 7.5. I'm torn here. I think I'm going to bet the Broncos in the points probably. It's just a lot of points in the NFL. I'm very worried that the Jets secondary is just going to eat up Bo Nix.
It's a stay away game for
it's
me.
A concern.
That number's a stay away. If it's especially 7.5 at the moment, I don't like that.
Then we got, obviously, this is your game.
It's up to 8, and just a factor on that game. Remember, it's Nathaniel Hackett and Sean Payton don't like each other, so this could be a Rodgers fuck you game.
they've all like diffused that. I think it's over.
I don't think it's diffused. I think it's gonna be a Rodgers fuck you game where they try to win by like 15.
Maybe. I think that fuck you game was last week against the Pats.
I mean, a lot of games could be a Rodgers
to be fair,
fuck
he
you
hates
game.
a lot of people, so it's his share.
Yeah. I would say I haven't bet anything in NFL yet, but I'll definitely will by like tomorrow.
Yeah.
At least. Vikings Packers. Packers are laying 3
think
here.
Love plays. All signs.
If Love plays, I'll probably be on
I think the line indicates he's playing. I think if that's a Willis game, that's closer to a pick 'em. Maybe even Vikings are favored. We beat the Vikings last year. I like us. Sorry, biased.
Yeah, I like.
I love how our defense is playing. Like the front seven, we're getting home. We had fucking 8 sacks last week. We have to go back to like 2005, the last time the Packers had like 8 sacks. Secondary's ball hawks. We have so many weapons. I think it's a little high scoring, but I think the Packers win.
Yeah, I like the Packers, especially if Love plays. I like the Packers too. The Vikings are kind of due for a little.
And keep this in mind if you're betting that
here.
game and you're wondering Love's status. The Packers are the most conservative training staff in football for decades. If Love is out there, that means they are not concerned about him whatsoever with his injury. He's 100% or close to it if he's out there.
It's good.
Not forcing him out there.
And then you have Vikings obviously have coming up 2 massive wins, both at home. Now they go on the road to Lambeau. Yeah, I like the Packers there. Shocker here for Pick Central listeners. I love the Falcons.
Oh, Falcons.
Love
the number one play.
Love the Falcons this week. I think this
What's the spread?
2.5. Saints are laying, Falcons are laying 2.5.
I think I saw the Saints are one of the more public teams, maybe the number one public team of the week.
The people are still living off those 2 big games. I think they got proven last week. The Eagles are a good team, so not like a bad loss or anything, but their offense looked world beaters. All of a sudden, Eagles going to town.
I also thought the Falcons played a great game against KC. They deserved to win the game. It's just they fucked that up at the very end. The PI call is not called, but those last 2 play calls were brutal.
I think the most underrated thing about the Falcons right now is their defense is really good.
Bijan I saw is a little banged up, but I assume he's
It legitimately does not matter.
Yeah,
I think their running back room is.
Algiers.
Yeah, they'll be
Algiers is
fine.
so good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I was even shocked when they drafted Bijan because Algier was so good.
Yeah. But also when Bijan's healthy, you see why you want
He's
him
way
play.
more dynamic.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Falcons there. Next we got Eagles Bucks. Eagles are laying 2 on the road. I kind of like the Eagles here actually.
Eagles, Bucks, Eileen.
Little revenge game from the playoffs last.
I don't want to bet on Hurts. I don't like anything about him. Like he's just like when I watch him, it's like I don't feel confident about my money being on you.
I'm betting on the run game.
Sure.
Betting on Saquon and these offensive line.
Being said, I didn't have him last. week.
AJ Brown's it looks like probably not going to play again.
Oh yeah, there's.
But yeah, I like the Eagles. We had Bengals Panthers, kind of an interesting game. Bengals are minus 4.5 at Panthers. I want to bet the Bengals here based on really 2 things. Just 0-3, like 0-3 team, like couldn't be more desperate for a win. Mm-hmm. Andy Dalton Panthers could not be high, they're higher than high.
Yeah.
I think to me this is classic like quarterback change. You bet on them the first game and you fade the shit out of them the second game. So I'm going to take the Bengals probably.
I think this is everyone's like the Bengals can't be. Oh, I think they can. I think
maybe.
I think the Panthers. I liked how the Panthers looked last week. Granted, it's against the Raiders, but Dalton's moving the ball. They just look like an NFL team compared to what was Bryce Young. I like the points. Keep it close. Bengals by 3. How about that?
All right, fair enough. Yeah, I definitely am worried about how bad the Bengals defense is. That scares me.
Yes, that's a ginormous problem. It'd be one thing if Burrow was struggling. It's like, all right, when's Burrow going to snap in? It's like that defense might just be bad.
I think they are just bad. Next, very interesting game. Jags-Texans. Jags, another team that 0-3, couldn't need to win more. They look awful. I mean, we thought it was almost a last standing game last week. They get their doors blown off from the very first snap against the Bills. Was it 47-10 was final or something like that? It was 37-10.
Yep.
They got smoked. They're catching 6 here to Houston. Houston coming off a loss. They get smoked by the Vikings in Minnesota last week. I want to bet the Jaguars. I want to do it. These 0-3 teams, I can't quit the in the NFL. I stand by the statement. No team is ever as good or as bad as they were the week before.
No doubt. No, you can't look in.
I just look at this game and I'm like,
what about the first 3 weeks?
Fair division. They should have beat the. They covered against the Dolphins. They should have beat the Dolphins in Miami.
True.
They're an ETN fumble on the 1 yard line from winning that game.
Yeah. Listen,
I
the way I look at this, I hope I avoid it. I don't know what my brain's going to do on Sunday morning, but I'd rather lose money betting on Stroud and the Texans in that game than having money and looking like a complete idiot betting on Lawrence and the Jaguars.
Yeah,
so I'll go down with the ship if it's not meant to be and it's a closer game than it is what it is. If I bet the game, but I cannot put money on the Jaguars.
Okay, I'm going to give you a Clemmer's pick for this game. Okay, so the Jacksonville Jaguars have been absolutely atrocious the first 3 weeks. Trevor Lawrence looks awful. Awful.
Yeah.
I'm out on him.
I'm out on Trevor Lawrence. He is a bust. I'm so thankful the Jets won that game versus the Rams. I can't believe I'm saying that. And
that's actually something he would say.
100%.
Yes.
And I am putting the Texans in my monster money line parlay.
Honestly,
what would be? I would love you to look. Yeah, what would his monster money line parlay be?
The Texans
it would be Texans,
Saints.
Nah, because they're underdogs. He
49ers for sure.
Jets.
49ers
No,
versus the Pats.
Jets. He'd go Jets for sure. He would go Texans. He would Niners.
Just because they're playing the Patriots.
He'd go Chiefs. Chiefs on the road. And that'd probably be it. That would be it. Probably.
Maybe the Lions.
It'll be funny when he posts his picks and he's like, "Oh, he's on the Texans."
The Chiefs.
Honestly.
Chiefs?
Yeah, Chiefs. Honestly, Meek doing that just gave me the clarity I needed. The Jaguars will be on my card because that's 100% like that's like the Clemmer's square brain.
Yeah,
will be like, oh my god, the Jaguars.
I'm just not betting this game.
Texans -6. This is like taking candy from a baby. And then they somehow lose the game or they win by like 2. Yeah, I'll probably be on the Jags.
And then Marty comes in on Monday and being like, "See, Ev, I told you, the Houston Texans aren't that good."
Yeah, there we go. And then I end up in a circle. I was right, but I was wrong.
And then next week you take the Texans.
Yep, exactly. It's literally like
this show is really just like a fucking like that.
It's a merry-go-round.
Yeah, it's like you'd have to really connect everything.
That's where my just talking sports brain and my gambling brain sometimes clash. I find that in college football where like I'll predict teams to like be good, but then a week comes up and I'm like I hate them in this spot.
Yeah.
That's happened to me so much this year.
100%.
It happens to me all the time. Steelers Colts. This is also a very interesting
Fun game.
Steelers are -1.5 on the road at.
This
Colts.
is a Clemmer game. Clemmer's gonna love the Steelers in this game.
This is
I love the Colts.
This is a very tough one for me because they were kind of in the same spot last week. Like the Chargers was kind of that spot.
Okay,
and they still won. And I just trust this defense. This defense and Mike Tomlin versus Anthony Richardson. This is one like I'll be square. Like I'll take the Steelers. I'm gonna be square. If they lose, they lose.
It's fun betting an elite defense like theirs. You know,
I'll probably won't even lay the 1.5 if the money line's minus like 120 or 125.
Yeah,
I'll probably just do that with the Steelers.
I'll say this:
I could see it being a close game.
Justin Fields is due for a bad Justin Fields game where he just completely implodes, and Richardson is due for a sick game. So I'm banking on the Colts.
I don't know if the sick game is against this defense that might be the best defense.
Yeah, but if it is, then it's like people are going to be way back on Richardson. And I don't even know what a sick game against the Steelers even looks like.
That's what I'm saying.
It might just be turnover-free football, and he has like a good rushing touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, I just like what they're doing with Fields. I just feel like I've seen so much improvement from him and just his decision making.
But I think we're due for
the way they're using him. They're just using him.
They're using very smart for sure.
I think they're kind of letting him develop. Like they're letting him kind of figure shit out. I think that the Bears.
I'm happy it's happening with the Steelers, not the Bears. I'm happy he got away from Chicago.
I'm in a fantasy football predicament. Who do I start? Justin Fields versus the Colts or Caleb Williams versus the Rams?
Well, that's a good transition, me, because the Bears are playing the Rams this week. The Bears are laying 3, and I think I'm going to take the Bears.
I like the Bears.
I think I'm starting Caleb this week.
Because the Rams are coming off this incredible win against the Niners after they obviously have no Cup,
right?
No Puka,
right?
I think this is the classic like come down to earth game. And listen, I've talked about it a bunch. I love Stafford. That's another obviously big debate on the show. Me and Marty love Stafford. Clemmer.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
Clemmer for some reason.
I was advocating for him to be a number 6 quarterback.
Clemmer for some reason thinks like he's old and he's old. I get it.
He was banged up in training camp, and Clemmer didn't think his injury would heal. He's like, oh, he'll just gonna stay hurt.
He just says, listen, could he get injured again? Sure. He's fucking old and shit happens. It's football.
I like the Bears. If Caleb doesn't show up in that, then it's gonna be some bad stories.
Yeah, because the Rams defense. I mean, without Darnold, Aaron Donald, some of these guys, they just don't impress me. I like the Bears at home. I like their defense too. Rams coming out of the dome have to go to Soldier Field. Give me the Bears. This is another one where like the come down spot. Give me the Cardinals. Cardinals, Commanders. Cardinals laying 3.5. I might buy it to 3 depending on what the price is. But
I mean,
is that also a come down spot for the Commanders?
No, that's what I'm saying. Come down spot for the Commanders,
Gotcha.
like classic primetime game.
Because the Cardinals lost.
I'm high on Jane Daniels. I love Jane Daniels. Everyone's saying Jane Daniels is amazing. He's the second coming. Blah blah blah. Now he goes on the road. Weird game. Cardinals. They're coming off a loss. I think now they bounce back and win. I like the Cardinals winning the points.
Yeah,
also maybe even the over here because I think the Commanders defense they stink.
You can throw on them.
Like Daniels is awesome, but their defense is bad.
Yep.
Give me the Cardinals. Patriots 49ers. This is a stinky game. I think I want no part of this game.
Nope. I want every part of this game. Talk
to me, Dukes.
49ers just banged up.
Yeah, a ton of injuries. Injuries. Oh, that's actually we didn't touch on. McCaffrey might not. He might just not play this season.
Yeah.
News from Germany was nuts.
Wild. They're saying he's going to be out months. They're saying bad fantasy owner.
This is an
fantasy
game.
number 1 pick havers. I know Meek is just.
Me.
They're disgusted.
Yeah, Hubs
Deep
had
fantasy football guy.
I did trade him away, but I mean, whatever.
This is under all the way. Because it's either the 49ers are just going to control the
possession, yeah.
Control the possession, score every fucking time. They control it. We don't score.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any like quick touchdown plays in quick touchdown drives.
Yeah, like if there's a kick return, the over might hit.
Right.
Next week, stinky, maybe the stinkiest of the weekend. We got Browns Raiders. Give me the under here. Under 36.5. Raiders are laying 1.5.
Such a low under.
In Vegas to the I think both
37.
Solid defenses. I think both teams are just kind of mid. I'll probably play the under. I'm not undecided on the side. Maybe even the Browns.
They're sticking with Minshew, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, and even maybe the Browns in a bounce back spot, but I'll probably take just the under.
This ties into my troll under of the week. Gardner Minshew under 145.5 passing yards plus 500.
All right, I don't hate it.
So I mean, his going into the week, Pierce didn't know who his quarterback was. He was like, we had to make some business decisions. He kept Minshew. Maybe he has a quick hook on him.
I don't hate that.
That's actually a good point. You're betting that. Minshew hoping that he just gets taken off the field. All right, I don't hate that.
And then last 2 games of Sunday, we got the Monday night doubleheader, but we'll obviously talk about that on Monday. We got Chiefs Chargers. Chiefs are laying 7. It's
Herbert.
It seemed I would say I'm not making any picks till I obviously know what's gonna happen with Herbert. It sounds to me like it's leaning towards he's not gonna play.
Yeah, I would.
Everything that I've read.
If you get X-rays back-to-back weeks, you probably shouldn't play the next.
And he was banged up coming to last week. He gets pulled because he gets nicked up again. They pull him from the game. In the
their backup is Heineke.
Heineke, yeah. It is, right?
It's Heineke, and both tackles I think are going to be out too.
Joe Alt's out. So
yeah, that's not good.
That's more than I would have probably taken them with Heineke if the 2 tackles were healthy.
Yeah, that's why in the Chiefs defense, I don't know. They still don't get enough credit. They're good.
I'm taking the Chargers. Have you guys seen? And again, I know that this stat is fucking bullshit because he won a Super Bowl in between. But did you guys see Patrick Mahomes' stats for his last 8 regular season games?
Not good.
They're not great.
It's unbelievable.
This year he's been not good.
It's shocking even.
He's thrown 4 picks this year, 4 or 5 picks. I think 4.
I think I saw it was 12 touchdowns, 11 touchdowns and 9 interceptions.
Yeah, I mean through 3 games
and a Super Bowl.
Through 3 games he has 659 yards, 5 touchdowns, 4 picks.
I mean they're 3-0. They could easily be 0-3, but when you have a quarterback like him that just makes plays when they matter. it makes a difference.
It's Brady shit, man. They're just
Yeah.
inevitable. Like they just find ways to win.
You can never count them out.
Also, to have a really good defense too. But I mean, he literally just never doesn't make the play when you need it.
Yeah, I really miss that.
Actually, and I'll say last game, incredible primetime game Sunday Night
Love
football.
this game.
Ravens Bills. This might be my favorite play of the week.
Ravens.
I love the Ravens.
Ravens.
I love
Everyone's
the
got
Ravens
Bills.
so much. The Ravens are being slept on because they lost those first 2 games. They obviously blowed the game to the Raiders. The Bills are still a phenomenal team. Really, really good team. I think they're a legit Super Bowl contender.
This hurts too because I love.
They
Josh
lose this
Allen.
game, they still will be a Super Bowl
Yeah,
contender.
yeah.
Me loving the Ravens is no indictment on the Bills, their future.
Yeah.
Anything, even just their short-term future this season. But again, I love fading big-time standalone primetime performances. The Bills look like world beaters against the Jags. They win by 1 million. Now they got to go to Baltimore. A hungry Baltimore team that's 1-3, or it's gonna be 1-2, needs to win bad. Can't be 1-3. Bills are riding high 3-0.
I'm taking the Bills.
I love the Ravens. I'm this one too. I'm just gonna, if I can get the money line anything under like 130, I'm taking.
I'm gonna take the
I'm
Bills.
taking the Bills. They've looked like the best team in the
Yeah.
NFL by far in 3 weeks. Like, how could you take any other team? Like everything is telling me the Bills. The Ravens haven't looked like world beaters by any chance. The Bills have. How did the Bills lose this?
I don't know, Chris.
Josh, how do they lose? They never lose.
He saw me. I started going, and I just.
I'm gonna take the Bills, but I totally get your Ravens angle. Like they do need to win this game. I
think
think the Bills.
Yeah, I think the Ravens are gonna do what they did last year. I think they're gonna have a lot of success running the ball. I also think they actually have Josh Allen is gonna finally this season play
A bad game.
play a good defense. Like he hasn't really had. They played the Jags stink, the Cardinals stink. At least their defense is
The
not
Dolphins
good.
stink.
You think he has one game changing
You're right.
turnover?
You are right. I mean, I was gonna take the Ravens
They're playing a
anyways.
legit defense in Baltimore Sunday night. Like it's gonna we talked about the environments the other day. Baltimore on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
is like a solid NFL environment. Like one of the better ones you'll see. I love the Ravens.
This is my gambling broken brain, but if the Bills were -2.5, I'd love the Bills. But because the Ravens are -2.5, I just think it's such a good spot for them.
Yeah.
I think people are gonna be all over the Bills.
I mean, these are clearly, obviously, 2 of the best teams in the league.
Do you think if just going off that 2.5 thing, this is just a general question to kind of end it with. Do you think if Alabama was -2.5, you'd feel better? Or
It would be way more of a 50-50 bet to me, but it's so clear to me that people are just going to be all over Bama with that line.
If it's 2.5, if the spread in any form is 2.5, and I'm the home team, I want to be +2.5 in every single circumstance.
I'm only taking Bama because they're at home.
That's just a thing that I always have.
The one thing I'll remind, I just want to remind the Bama bettors this week. I was there last year. Texas walked in last year and smoked them.
Hey,
And I want to say this too. Bryant Denny, I know Brandon's talked about it a lot, and I got to experience it for the first time in that game. It is not when you think of Bama, you'd expect them to have this insane home field advantage. It's not loud. It's not like some ruckus. LSU insanely louder. Tennessee way louder. Penn State way louder.
Is Ohio State louder?
Yeah, I know Ohio State's not even one of the. I would say it's up. I would say it's top 10, not top 5 in terms of the home field advantage like that. They're louder. Bryant Denny's is not loud. They just have won for so long. They just roll out of bed and expect to win. They don't have that same that fire. I saw it with my own eyes.
They're trust fund kids.
It was fascinating to
Jersey
experience. Yeah, just a lot of Northeast kids that want to party, and then we got a good old Bama boys.
large.
Yeah, shout out large. But yeah,
I wonder if he's going.
I'm sure his kid's going.
For sure.
But yeah, I just don't think it's the craziest thing to go in there and win. I think Georgia can do it.
Fair enough.
I think Georgia wins, but good show. We'll wrap up quick. Just give picks for tonight. I already said I'm on Miami -17. I took their first half team total over 17.5. I'm on Rutgers money line, and I'm on the over 43.5.
I like Rutgers. I don't know. I'm probably going to bet this day baseball game. I'll take J-Mo because I'm a Jameson Tyone guy. Yankees clinched the AL East. Free talk about that. That's awesome. We don't have to worry about that this weekend. Phil's going to be in hell with the Mets. It's going to be exciting.
See you Monday.
See you Monday.
Monday's going to be D-Day.
May have a triple header.
Insane. I would say next week that stream on Monday is going to be chaos with the doubleheader NFL games as well. But have a good weekend, everyone. Everyone will be tweeting out the plays. I'll be tweeting out my Saturday card Saturday morning. So appreciate it.
Go Rebels.
Yeah, go run a Rebs. Brad gets the 4-1.